Hi, my name is Seth Muller, and I am your instructor for English 110 here during this 2020 summer session for the STAR program. I really look forward to getting to know all of you, as I mentioned, I'll mention in my introduction video. But I think it's going to be a great semester, and I hope you really enjoy the class. I think this class is super fun, really fascinating. It is a lot of work. There's going to be quite a bit of writing, quite a bit of reading, but I feel like the content is really fascinating, and I think you'll really connect with it. We are basically looking at pop culture, mass culture, doing critiques, looking at criticisms of that culture, making those kind of criticisms ourselves. I really think it can be super beneficial and super fascinating to learn about. So I hope you really enjoy the course. I think we're going to have a good time with it. I want to kind of go over a few things, mostly to get you oriented around our BB Learn shell, just in our first few days here as we start off this English 110. But the first off, before we jump into all that, I do want to introduce our supplemental instructor, Bailey Irwin. As you might have heard or might have learned already, we do have supplemental instructors that kind of pair up with our courses. You'll hear us also refer to them as SIs, and so our SI is Bailey. And I think we are so lucky to have her. She is really bright, really on top of things. I think she's going to be an incredible resource and asset for you as we work through English 110. Bailey and I have worked in the past in the university writing program, so we've partnered before, and so I think we're really looking forward to helping you along. You're going to see Bailey show up in our discussion board. She's going to be helping you with the drafting of your two main papers. I'm also going to ask her to kind of help me look at the outlines that you'll be doing for those papers. And again, just kind of showing up and sharing her thoughts and ideas as well. So I think she's going to be, again, a really wonderful addition to our course. So moving on from Bailey, I do want to just kind of show you a few things to look for in the BB Learn shell. As you probably always hear, first thing we should do is check out the syllabus. So if you click on syllabus and policies in that left-hand menu, you will see it says Summer 2020 English 110 syllabus and schedule. Please download this. It is a lot to read. It may take you, 20 or 30 minutes to read through this. But really important to get familiar with the policies of the course, the rules of the course that we can kind of go through. And then I would say too, I do like to do like sort of a splashier opener page. So that will give you, you'll see that'll give you some really good sort of at a glance information. But below that, take the time to read all of the content that's in there. Next, I just want to jump in and look at the course calendar. So I've set up a course calendar for us that includes all of our deadlines, everything that you need to know. If you're struggling to keep track of everything, just come to this course calendar, see what's due that day, and that will get you a nice window into what we're working on. If you fall behind, definitely reach out, let me know. We'll try to make that accommodation for you as best as possible. But really for this class, it's going to be really important, I think, to stay on task for our due dates, especially with the way the course is structured. You'll see we kind of get into a big pile of stuff at the end of the week. But mostly that's because we do have the office hours that I've added to the calendar in there. So that kind of adds an extra one to each of those Fridays. And then there's a couple of videos and PowerPoints that kind of go in there. And some of those are very brief. So don't get too overwhelmed to see all of the things that are posted in here. Some of them won't take you very long at all, but others will take a good bit of time to read and respond. Take the quiz, to go through the actual papers themselves. But this should give you a nice orientation point if you're ever confused. You also can keep a calendar on your own, and I usually suggest that, but we have a course calendar to work with together. Mentioned office hours on Friday, and the way I've set it up for our shell is you'll see a link for Collaborate for office hours. Click on that, click on the folder for office hours, it'll give you all of our appointments. So we have 4, one each Friday, 2:30 to 3:30. Think of it like a Zoom if you're familiar with that, or any kind of video conference. I will always be there during that hour period, so you just show up, enter the room, so to speak, and then we can check in. Would love to see you, whether you have a big question or a small question, or you just want to say hi. Would be happy to meet with you anytime during those office hours, and I can make an appointment too. If we do schedule an appointment, something we work out through email, course messages, then I'll create the session, and you just go in there and you'll find it on this page. Mention course messages, you see that link there. I'll just say too, if you have a quick question or just something where you're confused or you can't find something, just shoot me a message on course messages, because that's like a really easy way for me to respond and not kind of have the email inbox get all kinds of crazy full. But if we have something where you have several questions, or you're struggling with your paper, or you need some help on something, anything along those lines, something that you need to explain a little bit better, email is great too. I'm using my Google powered email with NAU, which is sam383@nau.edu. And last page I'll just kind of point out too is when you're in that menu that's sort of on the left, click on course content. Here you'll find our modules, and so like a module is like that welcome to the course. So you see that's called module 1. Critical perspective and rhetoric is module 2. And then when you click on the title, when you click on that welcome to the course, it'll take you to a link that has all the assignments, all the readings, everything that's due. It's all laid out for you in there. Any videos you need to watch, any PowerPoints you need to download will show up in the module for that. We have 7 modules, and so we kind of go through them. Some of them are as short as 2 days, some of them are as long as 4 days, so 2 to 4 day window. So we're going to look at analyzing advertising and argumentation is module 3. Module 4 is television. Module 5 is surfing cyberspace and sports. We combine those together. Then we have music, and then we have self-reflection. So those are what we'll be looking at with those. So if you ever get confused, click on that course, course content. That takes you to this page. Click on for the module, and that will take you there. I think some of our readings are really incredible for this session. I'm really excited for what Laura ultimately selected, and took some of our advice and ideas for what we'll be reading. So again, those studies in popular culture, mass culture, we'll be looking at things like binge watching, looking at like an essay that sort of pulls the curtain back on American Idol. We'll be looking at sports, like it's an essay about a man who basically boycotts the Super Bowl and talks a little bit about why. We also have an essay on Beyonce and Taylor Swift, and we have an essay on Lady Gaga. So you'll definitely recognize some of the names and some of the cultural references in our course. We also have some pretty serious, pieces in there. We will be reading about Black Lives Matter. We'll be reading about cyberbullying. So there is some like sort of heavier material in there too, along with the pop culture. So I think it's really fascinating. I hope you have a great time with it. Again, reach out, course messages or email if you have anything you need to check in on. And again, looking forward to getting to know you and reading your work this semester.